Have you ever found yourself stuck in a rut, thinking that there's no way out of these unpleasant feelings about life? I know I have before, and something that I find that helps me is reading. And while reading any book in general is good for you, it's not just any reading that helps me, it's self-help books. My name is Julia Bennani, and I'm going to talk to you today about a book that I found to be really helpful in times of need. This book is called The Self-Care Prescription, and it's written by Robyn Gobin. Robyn Gobin is an author with a PhD. She's a licensed clinical psychologist as well as an assistant professor. She has a really cute and informative website that just tells a little bit about her life and her mission, which I will include a link to at the end of my slides. She's all about mental health, being mindful, and self-care, which is why she wrote a self-help book. The way I'd like to break down my thoughts is by chapter. There are 8 chapters, and each chapter has its own set of insights. Chapter 1 discusses the goals that Gobin has for us as the reader of the book. She hopes that we walk away from this book with skills that better equip us to prioritize our health and happiness despite the challenges and complexities that life tends to throw our way. Chapter 2 discusses friends, family, and fun, more specifically our social self-care. I really like this chapter because it challenged me to think about what kind of friend, the family member, and girlfriend that I want to be in my life. And she asked us to create a social self-care vision for ourselves and the goals that we want to achieve with others in our lives. And she even walks us through creating this plan and to help us better achieve our individual goals. I really like this chapter in particular because she talks about handling conflict with not only ourselves, but with others too. And she understands the importance of treating ourselves when it comes to reaching our goals. So she would put fun little ideas for rewards, like watching a favorite movie or buying a new book or buying the new shirt that you want, that type of thing. Chapter 3 discusses physical self-care. Something that I like that she discusses in this chapter is setting realistic expectations for ourselves, because often we strive for the most, and when we don't achieve the most, we tend to give up. So she really emphasizes a healthy commitment to our physical health. Chapter 4 discusses intellectual self-care. She highlights how important it is to take the time to get to know our interests and really learn what makes our minds happy and curious. In addition to this, she emphasizes how having a growth mindset can really make a difference when it comes to helping ourselves be open-minded and learning from failure and really challenging ourselves mentally, because that's essentially how we grow. Chapter 5 talks about vocational self-care. As a student who was just about to graduate, I liked this chapter because it gave me insight on how to better maintain a healthy work-life balance. She lays out the concept of protecting your weekend, which really just helps you mentally recharge and do things that are good for you so that you can create the separation between your work and personal life. Chapter 6 discusses our spiritual higher self, and the best way to get started is to sit still, be quiet, and get familiar with our inner wisdom. She talks about the importance of breath work, and I really like how she discusses protecting our inner peace because we often don't do that enough. Chapter 7 talks about emotional self-care. We all have a relationship with our own feelings, and it's up to us to learn about what makes us happy and what makes us upset. Affirmations, as well as self-compassion, which is something that we've talked about in class, can really go a long way when it comes to growing our emotional self-care. Lastly, chapter 8 talks about the importance of making each of the aspects in each of these chapters a habit for our everyday lives so that we can be the best versions of ourselves. After reading this book, I think it was really strong in the way that it's broken down, and it's really easy to read and understand. It also has a great insight on how to be more mindful in all of the things that we do in our life. As for weakness, I found that it doesn't have a lot of space for journaling when she asks us questions or to jot down our thoughts. But after doing a little bit more research, I found that she creates a journal to go along with this book, and I think I might buy it. Overall, I would recommend this book to any self-care beginner. All it takes is just getting started. Lastly, I have 3 main takeaways of the things that I found to be most helpful to me and that help me engage in mindful communication. First, it's important to be in touch with our emotions. Second, we're humans, we make mistakes, but we can actively work to be better for ourselves and for others too. Lastly, No one's going to force us, and it's up to us to make the change so we can continue to be mindful and positive in our everyday lives. Thank you so much for listening to me today, and I hope this pushes you to read the book for yourself too. Just like Professor Hollingshed and Robyn Gobin recommend, I would love it if we could take a few seconds to take 5 deep breaths and then take a couple more seconds to think about the way we feel inside. I hope you enjoy.